The best freshman, not incoming player, not transfer, the best freshman will be Ethan Davis. So mull on that for a second, Caleb, while I tell you that crafttreats.com is your home for the best treats for your pet. And they also have the CBD infused pet treats that will help with anxiety for your pet, that will help with digestive issues and also arthritis. Go to crafttreats.com, use the promo code off the hook, and you will get 20% off. Ethan Davis will be the best true freshman for the Vols this season. That's what I'm hearing after week 1, which is way too early, but that's what I'm hearing, that he's fills out his pads, is a special young man.
Are you asking?
Yes, I'm asking you.
I believe that's possible. I am a little bit higher, but here's my thing. Freshman this season. All right, I'm throwing this out here, Dave. And it's not based on the first week. It's based on, I'm still stuck in my mode of recruiting. I'm still going Jordan Matthews.
Okay.
And I think mainly because I think they're going to desperately throw Jordan Matthews out there to start at cornerback this year. I think they are desperately, either Jordan Matthews or Ricky Gibson is starting this year. I don't know if you agree with me on that. One of them is starting.
No, I agree. And I hear good things about them both, and I'd have trouble splitting them right now. Maybe a little couple more good things about Ricky, but we're a weekend. But you're right. I would make the same argument that you made about Matthews, that one of them will be thrown out there because of necessity. I believe that one of them will be that Ethan Davis or McAllen Castles will be thrown out there because of necessities. Listen, Jacob Warren's a proven commodity, but if you watch Tennessee last year, it was a constant rotation, one series, Warren Fant. That's how they did things, unless one of them was gassed or got hurt. So somebody has to be ready to go if you want to continue that. Now, I did talk to Jake, and I said, sorry about my email. I said, could you go out there for 2 and 3 series and that sorts of things? And he said, yeah, I mean, I could. And I'm sure he could. I'm sure Jacob Warren wouldn't turn down playing every snap, but that's not where this team needs to be, because that's a more physical role. While they'll do that with some wide receivers, this is you're hitting people still as a tight end. So I will take Ethan Davis for that reason. So second down, Tennessee's best offensive lineman, newcomer, will be John Campbell. John Campbell, which I was really not high on early in the season. And if you've listened to this program, and I will go ahead and tell you, I'm bringing some knowledge here. I'm not just making stuff up. I really thought Andre Keurig would be the guy that delivers the hot roasted coffee every morning. But I now am wondering about John Stevens from what I'm hearing. How big would it
Campbell,
be?
you mean?
I'm sorry?
You mean John Campbell?
Yes, John Campbell. John Campbell. I'm hearing that John Campbell has some special ability. What would it mean if Tennessee's able to lock down that left tackle with Campbell?
If they could lock that down with John Campbell, that would be impressive, particularly because that can move Keurig into the interior. And if Keurig is still as good as we thought he might be, then that means you got the left tackle and the left guard locked up, and you got right tackle locked up with Gerald Mincy and JJ Crawford. So you're offsetting all your losses. I'm gonna throw a freshman in there for fun, but he was an early enrollee and the most highly touted freshman of the linemen, and that is Vyson Lang. And Dave, I don't know what you're hearing about Vyson Lang, but 6'5", 315 when you're recruited, you can't coach that.
No, I agree. I think a little bit more of a project player, but will be a very good player. I think he'd probably benefit if he was 6'3" or had better feet, because he's kind of 6'5" and feels like an interior lineman from what I've been told, but has the size to play tackle. So they've got to figure out where to play him. But that's certainly come up before, so they'll be fine. And third down. Let me pull that up as my computer's giving me problems today. I apologize. But third down would be this. My goodness gracious. Cam Selden will have an impact at running back. Josh Heupel said on Monday that Cam Seldon will mainly be a running back in spring, and he looks the part. 6'2", 215 pounds. Seldon looks mature in a running back room filled with smaller backs. So, what do you think of Cameron Seldon's impact at running back this fall?
I firmly agree. I firmly believe Cameron Seldon's going to make an impact this year. I don't think Josh Heupel puts him at running back if he's not thinking, I need a more dynamic feature back than Jabari Small. Much love for Jabari Small. Does everything fundamentally right as a running back. He's kind of proven at this point. He's not the guy that can, like I said, take a 5-yard gain and turn it into 15 yards, or take 10 yards and turn it into 60 yards. He's the guy that if you call the right play for 5 yards, he's getting you 5 yards.
Yeah, and Travis asking, they don't have an electric running back right now. I mean,
Yeah.
Jalen Wright's closer, Dylan Sampson's the closest, but he's
those
not
are two
every down
all-purpose backs.
Yeah, they don't. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
no offense against Jabari Small, but is he going to bust one that should go for 10 and he's going to bust it for 80? No, he's probably going to get run down. A good point by Travis saying, man, there's 5 running backs already, though. What about Keith? Keith is going to be the blocking back, the power back in short yardage, and he comes in the summer. So I do believe Tennessee, as you pointed out, Travis, will come into preseason camp with 5 running backs they'll try to get a look at. Now, the problem with Seldon is you're behind Dylan Sampson, you're behind Jabari Small, you're behind Jalen Wright, and I think Sampson is on the rise. So how do you work your way in there? I think you'll have an impact in some shape, form, or fashion. And here's the thing about running backs. Well, who are we talking about before the season last year? We were all talking about Justin Williams-Thomas. Now he's transferred and gone. He looked like Tarzan, played like Jane. And Seldon, though, they look at and they think, we got to put you there immediately. That's a pretty clear sign, as Caleb said, that instead of receiver, he can be a standout running back. And listen, you could watch high school tape of Jamal Lewis all you want to, but you didn't know he was going to show up and be an absolute bull in a china shop. I mean, in college. So, yeah. I mean, with running backs, sometimes they can show up in August and they're like, whoa, that's the best guy.
I mean, you were closer to the program than I was at the time. Was the only reason they didn't start Jamal Lewis at the beginning of the season was he didn't know pass protection that well? I can't for the life of me figure out why he didn't. Why was it Mark Levin? Was that his name? Mark Levine, who started?
Yeah, Mark Levine. It was 3 things. I think they underestimated how good Jamal Lewis was, and he was a gamer. Okay, I don't think he was a great practice player. Pass pro was the other. And if you go back and actually look at Mark Levine's stats in that Florida game that you're referring to, he played okay. It was they thought they could lean on an offensive line. So that sounds like about 4 things. But all in all, it equals a bad decision.
Yeah, exactly.
He should have been. But some of the players on that team will tell you that Mark did fine. But no, you could have a running back, and Seldon might be the guy that shows up on campus this year and has just a fantastic season. So,
and don't forget, guys, because we bring up Jamal Lewis, like we talk about Mark Levine, Sean Bryson was on that team, and then you had Travis Henry and Travis Stevens, who they were the oddballs out at that year. Travis Henry and Travis Stevens barely played. No one knew what was going to become of them. That was a loaded situation. And in the early 90s, they had 4 running backs at one time with James Stewart, Mose Phillips, Aaron Hayden, and Charlie Garner. So it's not crazy to go that deep at running back.
4th down. Who's the leader on offense and defense? Okay, so last year, you may rip his play, but Caleb's pointed this out, and it was very apt and changed my perspective on the way I looked at Trayvon Flowers. He was the leader. I mean, he was the leader. There's an advantage there being safety because you can see the whole field, but he was the leader. No question. On the other side, pretty obvious, right? On offense, who the leader was?
Yeah, it was pretty clear.
Yeah. His name was Hendon Hooker. Great last name. So who is the leader on both sides of the ball? That's 4th down. I'm going to go first, if you don't mind, Caleb. And it's not just because he works with us and he's on our YouTube channel, but I think Cooper Mays, from a lot of people I talk to, has already accepted that leadership role and has gone from being the little brother of Trey Smith and Cade Mays to being the dog leader in the room. And I can tell you, people I've talked to within the camp, Cooper's going to tell you something once, and if you don't listen, that's on you. But he's going to give you some direction, and I think he is the leader. And he'll also, yeah, I thought this was really interesting in the conversation I had with Cooper that we're going to post on the YouTube channel. He said that a lot of times Cade Mays, his brother, or Trey Smith would handle the line calls because when he first started playing center, he wasn't ready from a mental and physical perspective. So they would handle some of the line calls. Well, now he gets to handle all of that. He makes it easier for the the quarterback, and he makes it easier for him because he'll handle some of the line calls. So those are, that's my leader on offense. My leader on defense, I have no idea. And that is my honest opinion. I don't know who that person is. I think everybody likes Omari Thomas and his upside, but he is not a vocal leader. Rodney Garner talked about that over the weekend. You want to go second level linebacker, maybe it's Aaron Beasley. You want to go third level in the defensive backs, I got nobody. Caleb, who's the leader on defense? And they missed one certainly before that trip to Columbia.
Well, Fred White brought him up on Friday, and until he brought him up, I didn't think about it, but it's Tank McCullough, the other safety who started with Trey Flowers. He's been starting. This is his 5th year starting with Tennessee because he came in midway. He started midway through 2019 when Trey Flowers broke his leg on an interception and missed the rest of the year. Tank McCullough came in and started the rest of the way alongside Nigel Warrior. And the next year, he and Trey Flowers became the full-time starters, and he's been starting. And he moved over to strong safety. He's been starting ever since. So I think it has to be him. You need a safety that can kind of cover for deficiencies that are probably going to be there at cornerback again. So for me, it's Tank McCullough on defense. I think there's 2 leaders on offense, and it's so cliche because you brought up Cooper, and I'm with you. I think Cooper's a leader. I do. I was going to go there too, but I still think Joe Milton's going to be a leader. I've heard enough people talk about him that I think you're going to have. And by the way, that's what you want. You want your center and your quarterback to be the 2 leaders of the offense in most situations. And I learned this with, I guess, Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday back in the day. They were both kind of leaders of the offense in different ways because Peyton said, and you probably know more about this than I do, but quarterbacks don't even understand the language the offensive line has. Apparently they have their own language for audibling and calling plays and blocking schemes that is completely different from the quarterback and what he's doing.
No, McCullough's a good one. If it's not McCullough, I don't know who it is.
It has to be McCullough. It has to be.
I mean, Keenan Peely, if he plays the mic, which we think he will, would be the guy that you would say naturally just because you play the mic, but he's just showed up on campus.
Yeah.
Are you immediately going to be a leader? I mean, it even took Al Wilson 2 years to become a leader. That sometimes is more difficult to be in a productive player. So yeah, I think McCullough's a great one. Absolutely love that. We have Jalen Wright playing the tight end fullback role.
No, he can't.
No, I think that's Khalifa Keith. I'm not going to.
Keith or one of the tight ends.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I don't even think Jacob thinks it's going to be Jacob.
Well, Jacob's a little too tall. You want your
right.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what he said. He has 6'6". It's tough to get leverage from a fullback position.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the king of that was. Do you remember how many times on the goal line? Because in 2000, Travis Henry was a dive over the goal line constantly. And then remember Travis Stevenson next year, he would consistently go under the defensive line to get into the end zone.
Dude, I remember that scary moment where Travis Henry landed on his head and his mom ran out on the field.
I remember that. That was crazy. That was against Vanderbilt.
Golly, sometimes you just have to stop in the middle of a football game and say a little prayer.
And he did that. I mean, he went up and over every time on the goal line. He was diving for the end zone every single time.